The story begins in Antarctica. The year is 1904. A small whaling station sits in the middle of the frozen wasteland. Silent, abandoned. Something's not right. The place feels completely empty. Then we see a man. Running, desperate, he's terrified, looking for a place to hide. He rushes into one of the buildings, breathing heavily, trying to stay out of sight. But it's too late. From the shadows, a terrifying presence locks onto him, a predator. Viewing him through thermal vision, the alien hunter prepares to fire. But before the shot is taken, boom! A monstrous figure leaps from the darkness. The scene quickly shifts to space, where a satellite owned by Wayland Industries slowly orbits Earth. It quietly scans the planet until it detects something highly unusual, a strange heat signature coming from deep beneath the ice in Antarctica. The year is now 2004, and thousands of miles away in Silverlift, Nebraska, inside a Wayland Industries data monitoring station, technicians pick up this anomaly. The readings show a heat source in an abandoned sector of Antarctica, something that shouldn't exist. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, in the mountains of Nepal, Alexa Woods, a skilled environmental technician and survival expert, is scaling an icy cliff. Mid-climb, she gets a call from Maxwell Stafford, a representative of Wayland Industries. He offers her funding for the foundation she works with, but only if she agrees to meet with him. Initially, Alexa tries to negotiate, explaining she would need at least a week to get back. But to her surprise, Maxwell is already there, waiting for her with a helicopter. At the same time, in Mexico, a small village has gathered around an archaeological dig. Sebastian de Rosa, a passionate archaeologist, is busy searching for something important, but instead of a priceless artifact, he frustratingly digs up a soda bottle cap. His boss, fed up with the lack of results, fires the entire crew. Despite the setback, Sebastian isn't ready to give up. He tells his assistant, Thomas Parks, that he will find another way to continue the project. That's when Maxwell shows up, offering him a new opportunity. Soon, aboard a Wayland Industries helicopter, the assembled team flies toward the Ross Ice Shelf in Antarctica. Among the group is Graham Miller, a chemical engineer who plans to document the entire mission as a memory for his kids. While chatting with Alexa, the team notices that the helicopter passes beyond the usual safety limb, heading straight for an icebreaker ship. Their destination is strictly confidential. Upon landing, the team begins settling in. Graham gets curious about a large forklift and tries messing around with it, but one of the security team members, Mark Verheiden, quickly warns him to stay focused. Moments later, Maxwell gathers everyone in a meeting room for a formal presentation. There, he introduces the true mastermind behind the mission, Charles Bishop Wayland, the owner of Wayland Industries himself. Wayland explains the situation clearly. A few days ago, one of his satellites detected a mysterious heat bloom coming from under the Antarctic ice, specifically from beneath an abandoned whaling station. He shares satellite imagery along with a 3D simulation of what lies beneath. What they see is mind-blowing. A massive underground structure, possibly a pyramid, consisting of hundreds of rooms. Nobody knows who built it, when, or how. The moment the structure appears on the screen, Sebastian reacts quickly. He points out that the design seems to incorporate architectural elements from multiple ancient civilizations: the Aztecs, Cambodians, and Egyptians. That combination shouldn't exist, which leads him to suggest that perhaps Antarctica was habitable in some ancient, forgotten time. Despite how impressive the discovery is, Wayland admits he has no idea what caused the sudden heat surge. What is clear is that the structure is buried more than 600 meters beneath the surface, and they have a small window to investigate it before the ice shifts again. Alexa, with her expertise in extreme environments, immediately raises a concern. She states firmly that to prepare a team for a mission like this would normally take at least 3 weeks, but Wayland is impatient. He warns her that other corporations are already mobilizing. If they wait, someone else will get there first. Alexa doesn't like being pressured. Frustrated, she refuses the offer and walks away from the meeting. A while later, Maxwell knocks on her door with news. The payment has already been deposited in her account. He also informs her that a new guide, someone named Murdoch, has been hired to replace her. Hearing this, Alexa is clearly alarmed. She immediately goes to Wayland, warning him that Murdoch has neither the experience nor the training needed to keep the team safe in a place as dangerous as Antarctica. But Wayland remains cold, calm, and manipulative. He responds with a calculated attitude, indirectly pushing her toward a decision without ever directly asking. His demeanor makes it clear that whether she joins or not, the mission is moving forward. After stepping away to think, Alexa spends some time outside, staring up at the night sky. Some members of the crew approach her, striking up a deeper conversation. They're concerned, not just for themselves, but for the whole team. Two of them gently ask her to reconsider her decision, making it clear that without someone like her, things could go badly. Moments later, the sound of an engine draws attention to the refueling helicopter, ready for takeoff. Meanwhile, far above Earth, a massive, unidentified alien ship silently enters orbit. Inside, several predators prepare for deployment. One of them fires a beam toward the planet, a signal that their hunt is about to begin. Back on the ship, it becomes clear that Alexa has decided to stay. She gathers the team and lays down 3 critical rules for the mission. First, nobody wanders off alone. Second, communication must be constant. And third, under no circumstances should anyone try to play hero. The team agrees. Soon after, Alexa notices Adele Rousseau, one of the mercenaries, discreetly loading a weapon. It raises a small red flag for her. This was supposed to be an archaeological mission, not a combat operation. As preparations continue, Alexa shares a brief moment with Sebastian, noticing that he still has the soda bottle cap from the failed Mexico dig, a little reminder of how unexpected discoveries can be. When the team finally arrives at the target site, they ignite a flare at the top of a cliff. The light reveals the same abandoned whaling station from 1904, now directly above the location of the buried pyramid. The drilling begins. While Wayland, Maxwell, and Graham survey the area, Graham, in defiance of Alexa's first rule, casually wanders off alone, more focused on filming his surroundings than his own safety. Alexa and Sebastian come across whale bones, with Alexa pointing out that the entire population of the station vanished mysteriously over a century ago. No one knows why. As Graham keeps exploring alone, strange sounds begin to echo through the icy silence, putting him visibly on edge. Suddenly, Alexa appears, surprising him, and reminds him, again, that no one should be walking alone out here. Soon after, the group discovers something that wasn't there before, a massive tunnel leading downward. What's even stranger is that the slope is perfectly angled at 30 degrees, as if it were engineered by something intelligent. Wayland confirms that this tunnel didn't exist the previous day. The implications are unsettling. No known technology could carve something like this overnight. Despite the obvious danger, Wayland insists the team descend immediately. Unbeknownst to them, one of the predators is already watching, observing their every move from a distance, cloaked and fully armed. As the team prepares to descend, Alexa notices something troubling. Wayland isn't as healthy as he pretends to be. She confronts him about it, but Wayland brushes it off with a rehearsed speech. He argues that it's only when someone faces death that they truly start to appreciate life, making it clear that he's not stepping away from the mission. Minutes later, everyone begins rappelling into the massive tunnel, heading toward the unknown. As the wind picks up, a blizzard starts forming at the surface. During the descent, Wayland's harness suddenly snaps, sending him falling rapidly toward the depths. Thinking fast, Alexa reacts quickly, using her equipment to save him just in time. High above, the Predator ship hovers silently over the site, completely unseen by the humans below. And with that, the hunt is about to begin. 3 capsules detached and shot down toward Antarctica, crashing into the icy surface below. Guided by Alexa, the team finally arrived at the exact entry point. Lighting a flare, Wayland looked around, somewhat surprised that no other corporations had reached the site before them. When the floodlights turned on, the buried structure finally revealed itself. A monumental, alien-looking pyramid hidden beneath the Antarctic ice. Seeing it for the first time left everyone speechless. Wayland, thrilled, declared that this was their moment to make history. As they stepped inside, the narrow corridors were lined with carvings, depictions of 2 of the deadliest species in the galaxy, aliens and predators. As the team moved deeper into the pyramid, one of them accidentally stepped on a pressure plate. Instantly, an ancient mechanism activated. A massive chamber opened beneath them, and deep inside, a terrifying sight emerged. The xenomorph queen, previously frozen and restrained, was hoisted upright. Electrical currents surged through her chains, shocking her awake. The monstrous creature thrashed violently as she began to stir after what was likely centuries in confinement. Meanwhile, the group continued exploring, discovering more walls filled with inscriptions, a blend of symbols from Cambodian, Egyptian, and Aztec cultures. One particular message stood out, stating that only the chosen may enter. Outside, one of the security team members, gun in hand, noticed strange noises coming from the darkness. Before he could react, a predator, completely cloaked, struck swiftly and eliminated him without mercy. His death scream echoed, drawing the attention of nearby mercenaries, but it was already too late. The predator picked them off one by one, hunting them with brutal efficiency. One of the mercenaries, horrified after discovering the bodies of his teammates hanging upside down, tried shooting at the predator. The creature then deactivated its cloak, revealing itself for a direct face-to-face confrontation. Overwhelming the man with brute strength, the predator hurled him down the incline tunnel like a rag doll. As the dust settled, the remaining 3 predators fully revealed themselves, signaling that the hunt had officially begun, and everyone's fate was now sealed. Back inside the pyramid, the exploration team came across a chamber filled with skeletons lying on stone tables. Sebastian examined the area closely, explaining that they were inside the sacrificial chamber, a place where chosen hosts were once offered. But something wasn't right. The bodies weren't tied down, suggesting that the victims had accepted their fate willingly. Graham took a closer look at one of the corpses and noticed something horrific. The skull and spine had been extracted as a single piece, the signature of predator trophy kills. Suddenly, a strange, distant screech echoed through the tunnels. Graham nervously tried to convince himself that it was probably just the wind moving through the chambers, but deep down, everyone knew it wasn't. Nearby, the team discovered another room completely filled with skulls, hundreds of them. While inspecting the area, a facehugger corpse fell next to Sebastian, startling him. Even though it had been dead for years, none of them had ever seen anything like it. The inscriptions on the walls told a grim story. The chosen humans voluntarily offered themselves as hosts to start the hunt. But Adele Rousseau noticed something far worse. The bones of the skeletons showed clear signs of being broken outward from the inside, meaning whatever had killed them had burst out of their bodies. Meanwhile, the queen xenomorph, now fully awake, began her grotesque egg-laying process. Still restrained, she could not move freely, but her spawn didn't need her to act. The eggs were about to do the work for her. At that moment, Maxwell Stafford discovered a duct leading to another chamber. While he investigated, the mercenary previously thrown down the tunnel by the predator regained consciousness, only to realize that he probably had seconds left to live. Inside the pyramid, the team decided to split up. Some continued exploring side chambers, while others stayed back to document the findings. One group reached a lower chamber located directly beneath the first sacrificial room. There, they found a sarcophagus, locked with an unusual mechanism next to an Aztec calendar. Sebastian studied the markings and quickly realized that the year 1904 was inscribed. Exactly 100 years earlier, he figured out that to unlock it, they needed the current date, October 10, 2004. As soon as he set the dial, the sarcophagus opened. Inside were 3 ancient high-tech predator weapons, the very tools needed for the hunt. Waylon started coughing violently from the cold and stress, and Alexa quickly checked on him. After seeing his condition, she told the group it was time to head back to base and continue tomorrow. But Maxwell laughed it off, claiming he wasn't going anywhere. Waylon stepped in, ordering everyone to follow Alexa's lead, but added one demand. The artifacts must come with them. Maxwell, ignoring all warnings, forcibly pulled the weapons out. Sebastian protested, realizing this was a serious mistake, but it was too late. The removal of the weapons triggered a locking mechanism throughout the pyramid. The massive doors, each weighing several tons, slammed shut, trapping the team inside. At the same time, the predators activated their cloaking devices, immediately shifting into hunt mode. Back in one of the sacrificial rooms, Adele and Thomas were horrified as several xenomorph eggs began to open around them. The slimy, organic casings peeled back, revealing face-huggers, which immediately lunged toward the two. Both were instantly overwhelmed. Their screams echoed down the corridors, reaching the rest of the group. Hearing the screams, Alexa demanded that everyone evacuate immediately. But Maxwell, arrogant as ever, insisted that his team could handle whatever was happening. As panic spread, an emergency stairway revealed itself amid the chaos. The group had no choice. They rushed toward it. Graham nervously commented that the heat source detected earlier probably wasn't from natural geothermal activity. It was more likely something else, something alive. On the next level up, Adele suddenly woke up, only to find a facehugger corpse lying right next to her. But it was already too late. An intense, stabbing pain erupted in her chest. Seconds later, a chestburster violently exploded out of her body, leaving her lifeless. Elsewhere, the predators made a tactical decision to split up, hunting more effectively. Meanwhile, Maxwell and his remaining men stumbled upon a massive statue of a predator, with one of the stolen weapons displayed on its shoulder. The implication was clear. Ancient humans had once worshipped these creatures. But before they could process what that meant, another predator ambushed the group, killing one of the mercenaries in seconds. The others tried to fight back, But at that exact moment, the pyramid's walls and floors began shifting again, transforming the entire maze layout. The predator quickly leaped away, disappearing as the mercenaries scrambled in panic. One of them got crushed under a moving wall. Graham and another mercenary found themselves trapped together, while the rest of the team was cornered in different areas of the pyramid. One of the isolated survivors, hearing something in the shadows, desperately aimed his gun, but before he could react, something lunged at him from the darkness. Meanwhile, Graham and his companion knew exactly what they were dealing with now, and they also knew their chances of survival were rapidly approaching zero. Meanwhile, Wayland noticed that the weapon dropped by the fallen mercenary was still functional. Tensions rose as Maxwell, frustrated and angry, lashed out at Wayland for keeping quiet about the man's death. Sebastian took a closer look at the Aztec calendar markings and proposed a theory. The entire structure shifted every 10 minutes, based on numerical cycles common in ancient Mesoamerican systems. He was right. Soon after, walls began to slide and floors shifted again, even in the area where Graham was stuck. With new corridors opening, Graham and his companion got separated. The mercenary, hearing something strange, found his fallen comrade's weapon, now covered in thick alien slime. Startled, he ran, but fell through an open trap and injured himself, landing on a lower level. Graham promised to help, but the mercenary froze when he realized he wasn't alone. In the dark, he opened fire on the approaching xenomorphs, but was brutally killed. Graham heard the screams, and before he could react, he saw a xenomorph sprinting toward him. He was killed moments later. Elsewhere, Maxwell, now visibly exhausted, dropped the stolen predator weapon. When he picked it up again, he hid it inside Alexa's backpack, hoping to avoid attention. From a distance, two predators watched. One activated his cloaking device. The other launched a net, trapping Maxwell. As his teammates rushed to help, a predator arrived, violently tossing them aside before impaling Maxwell with a spear. The second predator charged toward Alexa, knocking her down. But suddenly, a xenomorph attacked, catching the predator off guard and skewering him from behind, lifting him off the ground. The alien and predator faced each other for a split second. Then the xenomorph finished its kill. The last remaining predator, Scar, saw everything and engaged the beast in a ferocious battle. The fight raged through the chamber, walls shaking as Scar threw the alien across the room. But the xenomorph retaliated, its acidic blood forcing Scar to shed his damaged armor. As he searched for his opponent, the creature leaped from above, and the two clashed again. Scar deployed a contracting net, pinning the xenomorph to a wall and injuring it badly. But just before he could finish it with a final blow, the creature broke free, countered, and killed Scar's partner, letting out a chilling roar that echoed across the pyramid. Elsewhere, 3 surviving humans tried to catch their breath. As Wayland began panicking, a predator approached. Wayland, understanding the threat, ordered Sebastian to save Alexa. He stayed behind to buy time. The predator scanned Wayland and discovered his deteriorating health. For a brief second, the creature hesitated, but when Wayland struck with fire and opened fire, the predator retaliated without mercy, killing him on the spot. Sebastian and Alexa regrouped and ran for safety, but their conversation alerted another xenomorph. As the 10-minute cycle completed, walls began shifting again. Barely escaping, they slipped through just before being trapped again. The last predator, Scar, encountered a facehugger and sliced it in half. Then a xenomorph ambushed him. He responded by decapitating the creature with precision. Removing his helmet, he revealed his true face. From behind a panel, Alexa and Sebastian watched him take the acid blood of the facehugger and burn a symbol into his armor. Sebastian realized what was happening. The entire pyramid was a proving ground, a coming-of-age ritual for young predators. They were not meant to have their weapons from the start. They had to earn them. The hieroglyphs explain more. Thousands of years ago, the predators came to Earth teaching humans how to build civilizations. They were worshipped as gods. Every 100 years they returned expecting a sacrifice. Humans were used to breed the ultimate prey, and the young warriors hunted them to prove their worth. If they failed, they destroyed everything, entire civilizations, to keep the infestation from spreading. The heat signature that had drawn Wayland's team was a trap, a beacon to lure humans into the pyramid. Elsewhere, Graham briefly woke to find other teammates alive but already impregnated. He spotted a weapon on the wall and used it to kill a facehugger just in time. But with no ammunition left, his luck ran out. Sebastian and Alexa found themselves cornered. They knew the next wall shift might be their last. Alexa vowed to use the predator weapon if it came down to it. Just then, Sebastian's watch beeped. The structure was shifting again. A new hallway opened. Alexa decided it was time to seek an alliance with the predator. Hearing noises, they ran through the corridor and came to a broken bridge. They jumped together. Alexa nearly fell, but Sebastian saved her just in time. Before they could react, a xenomorph dragged Sebastian away. Alexa, now completely alone, had no choice but to keep going. Eventually, she encountered Scar. She dropped her backpack and returned the stolen weapon to him. Scar took it just as a xenomorph pounced. Alexa grabbed a fallen spear and stabbed the creature through the chest, killing it. Scar rearmed himself and fought multiple aliens head-on, eliminating them one by one. The queen, still restrained, let out a deafening roar, calling her spawn back. Scar retrieved his spear and moved forward. Alexa, realizing they now shared a common goal, decided to follow. Though Scar was reluctant, he noticed Alexa's xenomorph kill, and in response, he ripped off the creature's head and used its body to craft new gear. The acid-resistant materials allowed him to fashion a shield and a spear, which he then handed to Alexa. She accepted, joining him as an ally in the hunt. Meanwhile, the queen, furious, was breaking free. Her spawn used their acidic blood to melt her chains. Scar and Alexa explored deeper into the structure. In one room, they found Graham's body, split open from the inside. Alexa picked up his pistol, then heard something. She discovered Sebastian, now pinned to the wall, impregnated. Scar prepared to kill him, but Alexa stopped him. At Sebastian's request, she mercifully ended his life. Scar, silently acknowledging her strength, killed the alien embryo inside him. Deep below, the queen finally broke free, unleashing chaos. With eggs everywhere, Scar activated his self-destruct device. He and Alexa fled through a tunnel as the bomb detonated, obliterating the entire hive. They barely escaped the blast zone, but the ice beneath them began collapsing. They ran, leaping to safety just in time. Facing the vast crater, Scar removed his helmet and marked Alexa's face with acid, branding her as a warrior. She accepted without fear. Then, suddenly, the queen burst from below. Scar threw his blades, wounding her, but she countered, hurling him. As the queen lunged at Scar, Alexa intervened, distracting her. Scar recovered and pierced the queen's skull with his spear. They tied a heavy chain to a collapsing structure. As the queen attacked again, she impaled Scar, but he held on, dragging her off the edge. The queen fell into the icy depths below and disappeared into the freezing waters. Alexa rushed to Scar's side. He whispered something before taking his final breath. Suddenly, a massive predator ship uncloaked above. Elder predators descended. Seeing the mark on Alexa's face, they acknowledged her as an honorary warrior. They took Scar's body aboard. The elder handed Alexa a ceremonial spear, a sign of deep respect. As the ship departed, Alexa turned to make her way back home, but unknown to everyone, something had been missed. Scar had been impregnated by a facehugger. Inside the predator ship, within his corpse, a new, terrifying life form was ready to be born. After the predator ship departed Earth with the body of the fallen young warrior, a disturbing discovery was already taking shape. A chestburster, part xenomorph, part predator, emerged from his corpse. As the ship moved past Saturn, a smaller scout pod detached and continued its path. Inside, several predators monitored captured facehuggers, unaware that they had an uninvited passenger aboard. The hybrid creature began attacking the crew, killing them one by one. One predator tried to fight back, opening fire, but it was too late. The vessel lost control and crashed back to Earth, landing in a dense forest near Gunnison, Colorado. Nearby, two hunters, Buddy and his son Sam, spotted the crash and went to investigate. As they neared the wreckage, a facehugger escaped its chamber. Inside the ship, a wounded predator managed to activate a distress signal before being attacked. In the woods, Buddy tried to protect his son and shot one of the creatures, but not before being injured by its acidic blood. He lost his arm and was taken down by another facehugger. Sam watched in horror before he too was captured. Back on the Predator homeworld, the emergency signal was received. A veteran Predator, equipped with advanced armor, reviewed the recording and prepared for battle. Grabbing his weapons and helmet, he departed for Earth immediately. Meanwhile, in Gunnison, Sheriff Morales gave a ride to a recently released ex-con named Dallas, who had just returned home. Dallas accepted the lift with few words. Morales tried to offer friendly advice, but Dallas kept his distance. Elsewhere in town, Ricky, Dallas's younger brother, worked a delivery job. His first stop brought him to the house of Jess, the girl he liked. Her boyfriend Dale didn't take kindly to Ricky and made it known. Inside the house, Jess hinted that she was considering breaking up with Dale, suggesting Ricky might have a chance. But when Ricky left, Dale followed, beat him up, and threw his car keys into a storm drain. Jess saw everything, but didn't intervene. Out in the forest, Officer Ray and a local man named Harry were searching the area when Harry's dog brought back a severed arm. The police were called, and Sheriff Morales arrived shortly after. They identified Buddy's truck nearby. Back in the woods, Sam woke up, still alive, next to his father's unconscious body. But it was short-lived. Within moments, a xenomorph burst from Buddy's chest, and Sam soon suffered the same fate. Meanwhile, Kelly, a military veteran, returned from deployment to reunite with her husband Tim and daughter Molly. Elsewhere, Ricky returned home and found Dallas waiting. Despite his cold attitude, Dallas offered to help Ricky recover the lost keys, grabbing his brother's baseball bat before heading out. Later that night, Harry and a fellow homeless man drank near the sewers, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. A facehugger attacked his friend, then leapt onto Harry. Moments later, a woman stumbled onto the scene and tried to flee, but was brutally killed by a xenomorph emerging from the water. Back in orbit, the elite Predator's ship entered Earth's atmosphere. Landing deep in the forest, he began his search. Scanning the area, he located the wreckage and recovered all weapons and vital gear. After reviewing the recorded footage on a helmet, he realized what had escaped and destroyed the crash site completely to hide any evidence. At home, Molly refused to sleep, asking for her dad to read her a story instead of Kelly. Disheartened, Kelly tucked her in and left quietly. Tim reassured Molly that it was okay to miss her mom. Kelly later thanked him for taking care of things while she was away. Elsewhere, Dallas accompanied Ricky to the sewers to find the lost keys. While searching, Ricky briefly spotted a shadowy creature, but convinced himself it was his imagination. They eventually recovered the keys and left. Back in the forest, Darcy, Buddy's wife, arrived with 2 men to search for her missing husband and son. They began combing the woods, unaware of the lurking danger. Police arrived and stopped the search. Morales gently urged Darcy to return home. It was too dark to continue safely. Meanwhile, the Predator located Buddy and Sam's bodies, confirming the presence of a spreading infestation. Still in the forest, the elite Predator dissolved the remains of fallen comrades and facehuggers using acid. While cleaning up the site, he intercepted a radio signal. Officer Ray's transmission. Activating his cloaking device, the Predator tracked Ray down and killed him. By the next day, Darcy continued to search for Buddy and Sam, while news of their disappearance began to spread throughout Gunnison, causing growing panic in the town. At a local diner, Dallas asked Morales for an update. The sheriff explained the search had been called off at 2 a.m. Carrie, the waitress and Ray's wife, overheard the conversation and became worried. Morales and another officer returned to the woods and found Ray's skinned body hanging from a tree. The coroner, Dr. Lennon, was baffled. There were no tracks, no logical explanation. Morales realized this was something far beyond their control. Meanwhile, the Predator followed the trail of xenomorphs into the sewers. There he found more mutilated bodies and attempted to eliminate the remaining aliens. Some fled to the surface. Furious, the Predator pursued them, disappearing again into stealth mode. Back in town, Jess invited Ricky to go swimming, mentioning she'd finally broken up with Dale. Later that evening, Carrie was closing up the diner when she heard a noise in the kitchen. Investigating, she found her boss being devoured by an alien. Terrified, she tried to flee, but was captured alive. At a local bar, Morales told Dallas about Ray's body. Dallas suspected it was connected to the other disappearances. Before they could discuss it further, Morales got a call. A gas explosion had occurred beneath 16th Street. Dallas joined the investigation. Elsewhere, the Predator chased an alien to a nuclear power plant. He tried to take it down, triggering alarms throughout the facility. The xenomorph killed an unsuspecting worker, whose body was soon discovered by a colleague, prompting a frantic escape. Back at the school pool, Jess and Ricky shared a moment, but were interrupted by Dale and his friends. This time, Ricky stood his ground and pushed them into the water. Suddenly, the power cut out. Something stirred beneath the surface. One of Dale's friends was dragged underwater and devoured. In the panic, another was also killed. Ricky, Jess, and Dale barely escaped with their lives. At the same time, Molly spotted a creature outside her window. She screamed and her parents rushed in. While trying to calm her, Tim approached the window and was attacked. Kelly grabbed Molly and fled the house. The Predator tracked down the alien that had attacked Dale's group and killed it, dissolving the body with acid. Back at the power plant, Morales realized things had spiraled out of control. He ordered an emergency evacuation and called for National Guard support. Soon after, Ricky, Jess, and Dale arrived, panicked and injured. They told their story, and Morales took them seriously. He and Dallas drove to the school. Inside, they found the pool abandoned, but traces of blood led them to the locker rooms, where they uncovered a horrifying scene. Morales tried to call for backup, but got no response. Back at the diner, Darcy arrived looking for Carrie. Instead, she walked in on a gruesome sight. Several small aliens burst from Carrie's abdomen. Traumatized, she ran. In the shadows, the Predator continued his hunt. After tending to his wounds, he let out a roar of pain. heard by Kelly, Molly, and a man hiding in a nearby cemetery. As Molly mourned leaving her father behind, the man tried to comfort her, only for the predator to appear and execute him with a clean headshot. Kelly used the distraction to escape with Molly. The predator, focused only on his prey, let them go. On the road, Morales nearly ran over Darcy. She told him what she had witnessed at the diner. With the situation escalating, Dallas insisted they needed weapons. Morales reluctantly agreed, and the group headed to a sporting goods store to gear up. Meanwhile, the National Guard arrived and began securing the area. Morales contacted Lieutenant Wood, who reported their units were on Main Street. But the call was abruptly cut off. The soldiers were ambushed and overwhelmed by a swarm of aliens. At the store, two strangers suddenly entered, startling the group. Tension rose, but Dallas calmed the situation. Moments later, Kelly and Molly arrived, and Dallas assured them they were safe. At the hospital, chaos erupted. A nurse was slaughtered, and a pregnant woman was attacked. Back in the store, the predator ambushed Dallas, hanging him upside down. Dallas grabbed a weapon, freed himself, and narrowly escaped a xenomorph ambush, saved just in time by the predator, who decapitated the alien. The newcomers tried to shoot the predator, but it retaliated instantly. Another alien lunged toward Dale. The predator killed it, but Dale was mortally wounded by the acid splash. At the hospital, more chestbursters emerged, killing doctors and spreading terror. The predator kept hunting, eliminating threats across the city. Morales and the others made it to Main Street, only to find it completely abandoned. They gathered all the weapons they could find. Morales managed to contact Colonel Stevens, who informed him all roads out of the city were lost. However, there was still hope. An aerial evacuation would take place in 30 minutes at Gilliam Circle. After ending the call, Stevens stared at the monitors, visibly disturbed. Whatever was happening in Gunnison was beyond anything they had prepared for. Reacting fast, Kelly took the wheel of a military vehicle and led the group through the devastated town. Meanwhile, the predator detached his shoulder cannon, converting it into a handheld weapon. Scanning the city, he realized the hospital was overrun by xenomorphs. As they neared the supposed evac point, Kelly halted the vehicle. She pointed out that Gilliam Circle, the military's designated pickup site, was right in the center of the alien outbreak. She warned the others, "This isn't a rescue. It's a trap." While Morales dismissed the idea, Kelly insisted the real goal might be containment, not evacuation. Instead, she proposed using the hospital's rooftop helicopter to escape. A convoy of civilians passed by, heading toward Gilliam Circle. Morales instructed the driver to follow, but Dallas split off, choosing to head to the hospital, joined by one of the men from the convoy. Inside the hospital, the predator had already arrived. He discovered slaughtered pregnant women. The pred alien had used them as living incubators. As Dallas and his team reached the rooftop, an alien ambushed and killed the man from the convoy. The group opened fire. Jess ran for her life, right into the predator's path. In the chaos, the predator launched a blade, accidentally slicing Jess in half. Rick watched in horror as Jess died. Blinded by rage, he charged at the predator, firing wildly. At that moment, a xenomorph tackled the predator, and the two plunged into an elevator shaft. Rick grabbed the predator's plasma cannon, but was struck by the pred alien's tail. Dallas opened fire, forcing the hybrid to retreat and pulled his brother to safety. Hearing the predator's roar echo through the corridors, they knew time was running out. They sprinted to the rooftop, only to be met by another wave of aliens. Kelly unleashed covering fire while Dallas tried to blow open a fence with the predator's weapon to clear their path to escape. Meanwhile, at Gilliam Circle, Morales and the remaining civilians fought desperately against the swarm. Morales radioed Colonel Stevens, who coldly revealed the truth. A nuclear strike was inbound. The evacuation was never real. Back on the rooftop, Dallas volunteered to buy time. He used the plasma cannon to eliminate several aliens before it ran out of energy. As the others reached the helicopter, Kelly jumped into the cockpit and began prepping for takeoff. Dallas recharged the weapon just in time and obliterated another alien. The predator reappeared, slaughtering multiple xenomorphs. Then, at last, the final showdown began. The predator faced off against the pred alien. The two titans clashed, brutal blows, claws, acid, blades. The predator, enraged, tore off his mask and charged. With a massive thrust, he ripped out the hybrid's tongue and impaled the beast. But the pred alien retaliated, stabbing the predator through the body with its tail. And then, the bomb hit. The nuclear blast engulfed Gilliam Circle, annihilating Morales, Darcy, the aliens, and the entire city center. The shockwave hit the helicopter hard, Struggling for control, the aircraft crashed into a clearing outside town. Military forces arrived quickly, surrounding the wreck. Dallas and Kelly surrendered, and soldiers moved in to treat Rick's wounds. Kelly comforted Molly, assuring her that the monsters were gone. Later, Colonel Stevens presented the Predator's plasma cannon to a woman named Ms. Yutani. She examined the alien technology and said, "The world isn't ready for this." Stevens replied coldly, "It's not for our world." And so ends the brutal saga of Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Now, check out other reactions from the Plot Recap channel.